Training in chess is not necessarily boring, but neither is it always fun. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you 5 variants that actually improve your chess skills and will be useful for you in your tournaments. So let's begin. First of all, fun is not the same as improvement. There are two types of variants: fun variants and improvement variants, and there is a small intersection in between. I'm going to be covering only the improvement one, but there might be some which are also fun. The goal of this video is to use variants as a training tool, not as entertainment. Let's start with the first variant, which is 1-2-3 chess. The rules of this variant are: the standard starting position, white plays 1 move, black plays 2 successive moves on his turn, white plays 3 moves, and so on. So the number of moves each side plays on their turn increases on every turn. Now why is this so beneficial, you might ask? Well, it forces multi-move calculation. Suppose you played 3 moves and now your opponent is about to play 4. You need to anticipate what damage they can do in 4 moves, right? You can't just think about their next move, which is normally what a lot of us do in our online games as well as OTB games. So it forces us to think multiple moves ahead, which is a very essential calculating skill that all of us need to have to be good chess players. It trains threat anticipation. So we need to anticipate the threat because there is not always a situation where we can do something about it. If the opponent is playing 4 successive moves, we need to be able to know, okay, what is he going to do? What can he do? What are the possible options he has? Because in our games, a lot of time we miss out on what our opponents can do and we focus on what we are doing. This also exposes poor visualization immediately. If you don't have visualization skills, you can't think 4 moves down the line that well, and your opponent will inevitably get the better of you. So you need to improve your visualization, and this is a sure test of that. All these skills have a direct carryover to classical chess, whether it's visualization, threat anticipation. You need to have all these skills in order to be a good classical chess player. Variant number 2, Chess 960 or Fischer Random. The rules of this variant are that the back rank pieces are all shuffled, pawns remain where they are, and the rules are the same. So what this does is, it throws the opening theory out of the window. A lot of players, especially young players, have a habit of memorizing lines and lines of openings. 15-20 moves down the opening they have memorized, and they don't train their innate chess skills by doing this. What Chess 960 does is, it forces you to think on your feet. Since there's no opening theory, you have to start planning from move 1. Early planning and king safety judgment are 2 important skills. Let's say your opponent plays a sideline. They deviate from the main line and you don't know what to play. Have you felt this before? If yes, this variant is a must try. It will teach you to think on your feet. What you can do, how can you do it, where does your king belong, where do your pieces active. It also trains your middle game thinking from move 1. So in the starting position itself, you are thinking what all weaknesses are there in the opponent position. What all can I exploit? What are the weak points? So you're thinking very strategically from move 1 itself. And this is excellent for players who get stuck in openings. Whenever a higher rated player is playing against us, a common strategy that they use is to deviate from mainline theory and go into some dubious sideline, which might not be advantage for them, but they can exploit their better chess skills, inevitably win the game. So this trains us how to think when we're out of opening theory as well. The third variant I would like to talk about is endgame start positions. So these are normal chess, except the starting position is that of an endgame. So it can be a rook pawn endgame, it can be a pawn endgame, it can be a minor piece endgame. So the starting position itself is an endgame. A lot of young players rely heavily on their tactical prowess to win a lot of games. But let's say your opponent matches you equally and you're pawn up in the middle game and you simplify into an endgame. Now if you don't know how to win it, then what's the point? Precision over tactics is what this variant prioritizes. It teaches you how to play actively, how to bring your king into the game, how to time your pawn breaks, how to put your opponent in zugzwang. Every classical game leads to an endgame inevitably, So this training method has zero wasted training time. It can even be that the end game you practiced might exactly come in one of your games. So I highly recommend that you try this one out. The fourth one, and my personal favorite, is blindfold chess. So this is also quite standard. It's basically chess without a board. So both the players are imagining the board in their heads and they are telling each other the moves that they want to play so that they can play without a board. So what does this do exactly? It exercises your visualization skills. When you're forced to think of the entire board in your mind, you need to be aware of where every single piece is. Where is my bishop? Where is my knight? Where are my pawns? Where is my king? Is there anything happening? So it teaches you to visualize for every single part of the board. Normally in our games, when we're attacking or when we're defending, we only visualize things in one sector of the board and completely forget about what could be happening from the other side. So this teaches us overall board vision, bird's eye view of the board. And apart from that, it has very practical uses as well, and it's very convenient to play. You can play this anywhere actually. If your opponent knows how to visualize good enough, then you can start the game anywhere you want without a board. So it's very easy to train this method actually. And it also increases your calculative abilities. So if you have to think about 3 moves in your head, that very much strengthens your ability to calculate lines, and which will come very handy in your classical game. The fifth and the last variant I want to share with you is time odds chess. So this variant has asymmetric clocks, which means your opponent has a severe time advantage over you. You can choose how much you want to have the advantage. Your opponent has 5 minutes, you have 1 minute, or your opponent has 15 minutes, you have 3 minutes. It's up to you to decide that. But what this trains you is to make decisions under pressure. Let's face it, there has always been a point in all of our chess careers where we had to face time pressure as a serious problem and we ended up losing because of it. It trains practical chess. You need to think, what should I do here? Should I be spending time on this move? Is making a good enough move okay? And yes, that is also one of the most important things that this technique prioritizes. It teaches you to make decisions. You need to decide whether you want to play a good move with less time or you want to play the perfect move but consume a lot of time. This decision is very important, and as a famous chess player once said, making 49 brilliant moves and 1 blunder is much worse than making 50 okay moves. Now that we've seen these 5 variants, let's look at how to use them. The one thing that I do not want you to do is replace your already existing training methods with these variants. See, these are not substitutes, they are supplements. They are meant to isolate a specific skill that is required in chess and train them. They are not meant to substitute your daily games, your puzzle solving, your books. They are not meant to substitute that. They are just a way to spice up your training, to get a variety of methods that you can use to improve yourself. I want you to combine these with your regular study. So let's say you're doing a book. After doing the book, maybe you can play a blindfold game with your someone. Or after solving some puzzles, you can play 1, 2, 3, 4 chess. The thing is, improvement comes from training the thinking process and not from blitzing or playing fun variants which do not have any meaning to serve in your chess career. Now, I want to ask you, which one would you actually use and why? Let me know in the comments below. Well, that's it for this video. Please make sure to like and subscribe if you relate with my content, and I'll see you in the next one.